Hi, this is Roshan. This is a training video of Ego premium product. Now we would be talking about engineered floor, the whole construction of engineered floor and the benefits and the drawbacks of engineered floor. So let me give you a little history on how the engineered floor came into existence. Before, when we used to call natural flooring, we used to only sell solid wood flooring. This is how a solid wood floor used to look. It was like a block of wood. So it was easy to make out of the logs. You used to cut solid wood 18 mm, 20 mm, 15 mm and used to polish it, dry it and make it into tongue and groove. Both there should be one side tongue, one side groove and fix it to each other. But what gradually happened was that because of the density being very high of a solid wood, the expansion contraction was very high. So there were problems in the site because of the expansion contraction, because every city or every area region had different weathers. So and solid wood was a live floor, it used to breathe, so the expansion contraction was very high. That is where the manufacturers started facing problems. And that is where they came up with a solution that, engineered floor was because of the solid wood drawbacks. So what people realize is that the manufacturers realize the customers want to walk on the wood. So this is what they want to walk on. But the below construction can be played around with. So let's give the customer what they want to walk on, that is the wood. So engineered was made in such a way that the top layer is the block of wood, whichever customers want, the oak or the teaks or the walnuts or the jatobas or the marbaus, and let's give that to the customer. And below the block of wood, let's give a balancing wood which will make the product much more stabler. The density will reduce and the expansion contraction will get bare minimum. And that is where they came up with an idea that let's make it into a sandwich floor, that on the top there is a block of wood, on the bottom there is another block of wood, and on the last third part there is another block of wood. So could be the floors could look something like this. Okay, there are 3 blocks of wood, 1, 2 and 3. Now by making this, the construction, making the sandwich, it has made the product very balanced, the stability has increased, expansion contraction has reduced, and that really worked brilliantly for the industry. And that is where engineered flooring became really popular globally compared to the solid wood floors, because customers want to work on wood, engineered is giving them the opportunity, and it is making the product much more stabler. So now we go one step forward. There are different types of engineered floor. On the top there is that block of wood which the customer wants to walk on. On the bottom then there were different constructions, like some people were using plywood. So plywood below the block of wood and then make it into a click system, or some people were making one block of wood, below that a block of wood of spruce, and give it a balancing layer, like something like this, a balancing layer. In the middle there is a spruce layer, and then on the top there is this. So this was called 3-ply construction. The plywood which was used was called multiply construction. And the third part which became very popular from Europe was the HDF construction, that on the block of wood, below the block of wood, there was an HDF used, because the HDF density is much more superior compared to spruce, compared to multiply, compared to birch. So they came up with a solution that why not use the middle layer as HDF and then give a bottom layer, a thin layer of plywood, and that made the product again very stable, because HDF expansion contraction was bare minimum, the density was more than plywood. So that was the third type of construction which came up in the engineered floor. So generally engineered floor, we are talking about on a broader perspective 3 types of construction. One is 3-ply, second is multiply, and third is HDF construction. Now we at Ego are looking at the third type of construction, which is the HDF one. Our construction is, we call our engineered floor as acoustic engineered floor. So we have a top layer, then we have an HDF mid layer, then we have a plywood layer below, and then a caulk layer below. And this is also another type of construction where different types of construction have been used. Now, when the top of block of wood, what do we do on this? We give a coating. We give a 7-layer of coating above the wood, which is where the customer is walking and touching and feeling. Now there are different coatings also. There are PU coats, PU oil, PU coats. There are oiled surfaces. There are wax surfaces. So there are different coatings also in engineered floor, which makes the product look much more real, much more handy to touch, feel. You can feel the grains of the wood. So there are different coatings on the top. We at Ego are using Trefort coating, which is a 7-layer coat, and it is we have an aluminum oxide level on that coat along with that. So it's a tough coat. The coating is very tough on the top. Then there are different on the block of wood. There are different species. We have teak, oaks, walnuts, jatobas, marbaus, acacias. So there are different types of species. Generally, globally, the popular species is considered to be oak, because a lot of plantations available of oak. There are exotic species, but the plantations are less, so that is the challenge, that the availability is less. So generally, if you see in the wood flooring industry, oaks are very popular. Oak looks like something like this. This is an oak floor, so it can be stained to different colors. This is something how a teak floor would look. This is like how a teak floor looks. So this is on the top part of the coating. Yes, we at Ego also we use caulk below it, just to make it acoustic. It absorbs the sound, so the sound reduction is bare minimum, and that is how we operate. So there are different sizes available, thicknesses available in engineered floor. It could start from 60 mm width, could going up to 190, 250 mm width. So 250 could be around this much. Much more stabler sizes are around 90 mm, 125, 150, 180. These are the ranges globally where the products are much more stable and a long lasting product line. So generally engineered flooring, we are looking at the top coat, we are looking at the wood, the mid layer, the bottom layer, and this is what the construction, the sandwich engineered floor would look like. Generally this is good to go for engineered floor, and gives you the real wood feel. When you're walking, you feel you are actually walking on wood, so you are walking on the real wood, and you get the stability like a laminate floor. It's very stable, expansion contractions are bare minimum, and it is much more stabler than solid wood floor. So this is all about engineered floor. I think people would understand this in a little much more better way now. Thank you. Good to go.